Oh, what's up? Good people. Good people, good people, good people. Shall I continue? Screen Fiend fans. The majority of you love movies, such as myself. And as a movie lover, brings us to information you might not have known about some of your favorite films. Ghostbusters was this big mega hit, merchandising hit that has gone on for years to become synonymous with some of the greatest marketing, promotion, and performances we've ever seen. But did you also know that the original Ghostbusters script is not what you saw at all on that screen? Dan Aykroyd wrote Ghostbusters. And when he wrote Ghostbusters, buddy, it was way out there. He wrote this for John Belushi, himself, and Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy and him had a successful movie called Trading Places, which everyone loved. Trading Places. John Belushi was like, God, I love that movie. They loved it so much that they were like, we gotta make this like Pryor and Gene Wilder. They were thinking of that, like making different movies together. And that's what they were gonna do in Hollywood. And was like, oh, we're gonna definitely make this work. And this is gonna be a great thing. It's gonna be huge. And while they were filming the movie, he was just in love. I mean, completely in love with this movie. John Belushi was. Now, right when they filmed and finished Trading Places, and everyone was like, this movie is going to be great, and all of these things were happening around it. Them two did Blues Brothers together. A lot of people were thrown for a loop because he died. John Belushi did. He saw the script for Trading Places and was like, this is great. Loved it. And he passed away. So while they were filming Trading Places, Jim Belushi, his brother, took the place of where John was supposed to be. The guy in the gorilla suit, that was John Belushi's character in the movie. And he had a much bigger role in Trading Places. Trading Places become a huge hit. And because it's the second film in the Murphy career, it's taken off and having a life of its own. John Landis again directs this film, and John Landis was great. Big budget movie, did well. Back then, a $20 million budget was something. But Aykroyd had this other thing he was working on, while they were filming that he was writing. He was showing Belushi and everything, called Ghostbusters. Dan Aykroyd's family was into the spiritual world of investigating ghosts, doing seances. So he always was around this. So he used all the research that his parents had and came up with these ideas of having people hunting ghosts, which was going to be him, John Belushi, and Eddie Murphy. That was your Ghostbusters movie. There was no Harold Ramis. There was no Ivan Reitman. There was no Bill Murray, even though Bill would somehow appeared in the movie anyway. Now, here's the thing. Bill Murray is a wild card. He does whatever he does when he wants to. John Belushi dies. And this script is crazy. Eddie Murphy agreed in principle to do it because of the success of Trading Places. But the script is bad. And Eddie Murphy's agent is looking at this. It's like, this will be the worst decision you make. If you go forward with this movie, this would be just terrible. You don't want to do this. And they was like, well, Dan don't normally do something that's not good. That's what Eddie is telling the agent. Like, let's just wait on it and see what happens. You know, he's like, they would have to change this script entirely. He's like, first off, it's not realistic. The original Ghostbusters script was about 3 men in space where everybody's Ghostbusters. And they're out there in this world trying to hunt down these special ghosts that are very elusive. And they're the ones that's going to bring them in for the bounty. And these ghosts were supposed to be very, tricky to get, and no one else could get it. But these 3 misfit Ghostbusters are the one that's going to get it done. And it was going to be in space. Too much CGI would have been required. Too much work, too much money to make this movie. Now, looking at the entire picture, you're brought to a new realization when you look back at the film. You go and say to yourself, how was this gonna work? It wasn't. It wasn't realistic. So Eddie Murphy had a couple of projects on the table. A movie called Best Defense. He went into filming that right away because it was a lot of money for very little, with Dudley Moore, for very little work. And he's like, wow, they only need me for this much. I'll just do this. And then we'll see where Ghostbusters is. And then he said, well, that project's not happening. It just wasn't looking like it was moving. And at that time, he's got a big movie offer from Paramount for a small film called Beverly Hills Cop, about a Detroit police officer. So when Beverly Hills Cop comes out, well, they're filming that. Eddie is not available for Ghostbusters. That's done. So Dan Aykroyd gets the script over to his agent, who gets Ivan Reitman. And Ivan Reitman wanted to make changes to the script. And he brought in a writing team, and Aykroyd was like, whatever you want to do. So one of the writing teams members that he brings in is a guy called Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis has been on strikes. He was in, I think he was in, was he in Meatballs? I don't know if he was in Meatballs. But Bill Murray was in both of those movies, which did well, but Bill Murray was always doing his own thing. Now, Dan likes Bill, didn't know if Bill, he just said Bill would be in it somehow. Sure enough, Bill Murray winds up in the movie. Says he was going to do it, but he was in France, just hanging out. So he hadn't signed his agreement to do Ghostbusters. Everyone else did. And a lot of people have this information misconstrued because Winston ended up being a member of the Ghostbusters, that would be Eddie Murphy's role. Let me clear the air on that. That is super false. The Winston character was added to the script by Harold Ramis. He wasn't originally in the script. He was added by Harold Ramis. Now, the reason why Eddie Murphy was going to be the Bill Murray character, he was the lead. Eddie was becoming one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. There was no way he was going to play Winston. So just so that you would know that wasn't the case, that's how that was going to play. If Bill Murray was to agree to do it, he would have been in a Winston role, a supporting cast role, or an Aykroyd would have fell back more. But it definitely wasn't going to be Eddie Murphy playing Winston. That was never the option. And he wouldn't have agreed to that. Well, he didn't agree to it anyway. But all of a sudden, the movie takes place. You have everybody coming in to be. Winston was written into the script because they felt everyone else is scientists. We need somebody who's doing this with a blue-collar, honest, outside opinion. And that was Winston. You know, for them, they're all going to look at it as a science, from scientists' point of view. You need someone who was a Ghostbuster, who was a common person, who was just blue-collar, who just wanted to be an outside person. They thought that would add an element to the script, which it did. But Bill Murray got there, and everything turned upside down. You know, it just really did. Bill Murray came and just showed up on the day of shooting. I don't even think he fully signed his agreement. You know, first day of shooting, Bill Murray just shows up. No one knew he was going to show up or not. That's just how it was. And they kept doing the writing as they were filming. So once they were done doing all the filming and the editing and the cutting and the everything else and got it all filmed, Bill Murray was just freelancing everything. As raw and uncut as you've seen Ghostbusters, the first one, that is Bill Murray in his rarest Bill Murray form. He was nothing but Bill Murray throughout the entire movie. I don't think he knew who Peter Venkman really was. He walked in, did himself, did a bunch of takes, and it was so much gold in it that lines that were supposed to go to Winston ended up going to Bill Murray. Next thing you know, Winston's character, there was a backstory to Winston that was cut out. Everything was cut out of the script. Till he had to complain and saying, hey, what's going on here? He's like, I'm almost being pushed out of the script. I don't know my role anymore. Like what's happening here? He's like, look, don't worry about it. It's nothing personal against you. This is just Hollywood. You know, Bill's on a roll. You just let Bill Murray go. when Bill Murray is on a roll, they just like, look, let Bill go, do his things. Trust me, this is going to open up a lot of doors for you. Which it did. It opened up a lot of doors for Ernie Hudson. He kept his mouth shut. Started doing a bunch of movies, playing the same Winston role. But he got work. And Ghostbusters was born. But Ghostbusters was almost John Belushi and Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. Did you know that? Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to the page. And don't forget, you can support my page by hitting my Cash App up, which is Carceno, K-A-R-C-E-N-O. Thank you.